There we go. We should be live in the Mortgage Loan Officer Network. Folks are slowly tuning in. Welcome. Again, thank you for popping in today with us, Ashley. Ashley has been one of our favorite LOs to watch over the last year. And I know that a lot of folks have reached out to you, Ashley, and asked, how did you do it? How did you change or implement some of the strategies in social media that we always see people talking about? A couple things for everybody. Number one, we wanted Ashley to share with you guys today on camera. And number two, we asked Ashley to set aside a little bit of time, 15 to 30 minutes, to talk about her structure and her model at the MLO Network event in Orlando in April. Now, I myself am flying to Orlando to meet some of the guys from Next Level LOs, and I think many of you, there's probably 20 or 30 of you in this group that are going to be down there. I look forward to meeting many of you for the first time. So I'll try to kind of tell you guys where I'm at, and we'll shake hands and all that kind of stuff. But I'm also scoping out Orlando because we're planning this event, and we're setting up the rooms and getting the speakers and lineup and all that going on. So Ashley's going to talk a little bit about what she's going to bring to that event. But more importantly today, I want to hear the story of somebody who needed a change and who wanted something different for herself and just decided that she was no longer going to settle for mediocrity. So what happened in your mind, Ashley, that kind of flipped the switch? I think it was almost a year ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was definitely almost a year ago. In February, I had gone to a branch manager meeting for a previous company that I worked for, and I got to meet some awesome people, some top producers of my company at the time, and they just had an energy and a mindset of what they did on a day-to-day basis to make things happen. And it gave me a spark that I had been lacking. I was always a really decent LO. I did, 4 to 6 units a month. I was able to financially help out my family and make it happen. I was a good LO. I didn't have a ton of stress. I didn't spend a ton of time building my business. I was just kind of like riding the wave. Being mediocre is probably the best way to do it, or to say it. So I did that, and when I got into a room full of powerhouse LOs that just took things to another level, it put a spark under me, and I was like, I'm not okay with being okay, and I'm not okay with having a fine life, like everything's fine. I wanted to take things to the next level and really grow my business.
So what did you specifically want to get to? I mean, you had a number in your head, a certain number of units, a certain number of income.
When last year when I started, I didn't quite have like numbers and units. I didn't know where I wanted to be or how I wanted to get there. So last year really was what I would say like a foundational building year. What kind of things did I want to put into my business? What things did I not want to put into my business to take me to the next level? Once I had some of those basics kind of figured out, I absolutely set a goal. And so for at the end of 18, I knew I wanted to do 10 units a month. By the end of 19, I wanted to be able to produce 15 units a month. Now, I know we've got a lot of rock stars in this group that are doing 15, 20, 25 units a month, and that's fantastic. This call and what I do is not meant for those LOs. It's meant for those that are doing 2 to 5 loans that want to do 5 to 10, 10 to 15. It's really easy to go from 15 to 30 loans. It is not easy to go from 1 to 3 a month and from 3 to 5. That's a hard brand to build and get the momentum. Once you're doing 15 a month, you can duplicate that to 30 almost instantly.
You've got your systems in place. You know what to do. That learning those systems is the hardest part for a lot of people. I know you spent a lot of time on this, so I know I prefaced this and I prepped you for it. Let's talk a tiny bit about what systems you focused on, what you maybe let go, and what you added that got you, from 2 to 3 to 4 up to consistently over 10.
Yeah. So my first thing that I was adamant about was picking 3 things in my business that I wanted to put into place. not 20 things in my business. I wanted to pick 3 items that I could consistently do in my business every day, every week, every month to build a foundation to the next level. So I think the most important thing is finding your 3 things. Finding what you're good at, what you can capitalize on in order to be successful, to be a rock star in what your own mind is. So I picked 3 things. We all know, like, I'm an avid supporter of Leads Academy. I joined Leads Academy because the LOs in my particular community, that is how they gained business. They gained business by purchasing or partnering with agents on leads, primarily Zillow. And that wasn't something that I was going to do. So this was a way to kind of compete on that level with something that I could financially afford and felt a little more comfortable with. Being able to own my leads and being able to have them in my database instead of somebody else's was really important to me. So generating leads on my own and working them through my systems was definitely the number one thing. The second thing was teaching and partnering with agents who wanted to take leads and generate new business with them. Make their systems a part of my process, make my systems a part of their process, and have it be a really genuine partnership between me and the agents that I work with.
I hear you're pretty strict on that. Like, you force them to partner with you. You're like, you're either my partner or you're dead to me.
A little bit. I mean, I want to work with agents that want to work with me. If people are on the fence, like, I don't know, cool. Rope in someone else that is sure about me, that they do want to lead generate, that they get my model, they understand it, they're open for business on social media, and they're going to partner with me on finding clients for us to work with and capitalize on them and getting them to the closing table. So if an agent that I approach or approaches me and they're like, yeah, well, I have this other lender that I'm working with, so I don't know, or I can split the business between y'all, sure. But if they have another lender that they're working with that they feel so committed to that lender to mention them in our meeting, they're not the agent for me. They have a lender that they work with that's helping support their business, who's pushing into their business. You're good. Then go back to that lender. Best of luck to y'all. I wish them well, and I move on to the next agent. I don't want to work with agents who are splitting the business or hemming hawing about me. You're either with me or you're not. Not that they're dead to me. I'll just catch them in 90 days and see if that lender really is taking care of them. And if they're not at that point, then I have the opportunity to win a relationship with them. If they're still being taken care of, then great. They're finding success, and so is that other loan officer, and that's great.
I think I got you a little off track. You said you had 3 things.
I have 3 things.
Derailed you
and so my third thing is cultivating the relationships that I have. I have 1,600 agents in my community. I don't go after 16. I go after 35 that I feel like I've connected with them on things. We have a good groove going. And so I focus on those 35 agents and not the plentiful agents that I can. I'm not one that says I want to work with 150 agents. I've kind of narrowed it down to 35. If I can make those 35 successful and they feel some loyalty towards me to help me become my most successful self, then we're going to go to the next level. So that's what I focus on, is lead generating, helping agents who lead generate with me, work a system, work a follow-up system, and pouring into those 35 agents.
Now, I know that you worked a lot with TJ. I mean, you worked a little bit with me, but you worked with TJ before you and I even started talking. TJ, what kind of systems did you and Ashley focus your initial energy on to kind of get her out of this, like I've only got a couple units and I want to bring more value to the table? What specifically did you guys focus on in the beginning, I guess, first couple steps?
I mean, obviously, we integrated a lot of Leads Academy, right? So Leads Academy was the foundation of what we did with this. And then, of course, CRMs. But more importantly than that, it wasn't about a particular system. It was about finding things that Ashley was comfortable with and Ashley was passionate about, because she already had the drive to be successful. She had she knew that she wanted to be successful. She had made the decision to go to another level. It was just about finding that thing that she was really, I said, comfortable about and passionate about. And I think that's kind of like the little secret with all these things, right? Doesn't matter what you're doing, but if you believe in it and you're passionate about it, then you'll be successful. It's just finding something you're good at, right? So if you're super, super comfortable and passionate about making 40 or 50 phone calls every day, you're going to crush it, right? A lot of people aren't, because a lot of people are afraid of rejection. A lot of people need something that they can go ahead and say, this is my niche. And that's what she did. So I know that's not a specific answer to your question, Fish, but I think it's important to kind of get that out there. So she always had that drive, that desire. She just happened to stumble upon us, and I happened to be the one that was lucky enough to work with her. So, and she makes me look really good. So, but I mean, yeah, so it was about lead generation, obviously focusing on lead gen that was very comparable to Zillow, because that focused in her neighborhood, as she said before. Her area, a ton of Zillow. So we did a lot of lead generation based upon that. And then we got him into her follow-up system, which she really took from, we're like, hey, here's a basic follow-up system, after Ashley broke it for the first time. But if we took our follow-up system to the next level, that her agents were just so integrated with what she was doing and just so excited about the follow-up and the updates and the interaction that Ashley was having. That was just the leads that she was generating, but the leads that agents were giving back to her. I mean, within Ashley was like weeks, they were loyal to you, right? Because no one else was providing that level of service. So,
Ashley, did you target realtors that didn't use Zillow, or did you take realtors that did and drop Zillow, or did the realtors that had Zillow keep Zillow and then add your systems? I mean, where does Zillow fall into this, and that particular batch of people that you were targeting?
They were definitely a mix. There were some that were adamant to not ever participate with Zillow and really liked the idea that I could provide something of a similar type of lead and get kind of a part of that game, because they were anti-Zillow, so obviously my message spoke to them. And then there were others that kind of played in the pool a little bit. They'd spend like $300 a month on Zillow, and I was like, give me $300 a month and see how many leads I could generate for you. And so like a handful of them, probably 3 or 4 of them, that's exactly what they did. Like they give me just, I said, like, just give me $150. It's, you put $150 back into somewhere else in your business, and $150 will lead generate together, and you'll see the quantity is higher than what you can get at Zillow. And that really helped them see kind of what we were working with. They knew it was the same quality of Zillow. It was just that I can do it for a fraction of the cost and allow them to build their database with it. And then on top of that, we obviously have the follow-up system, and so we provide a significant amount of support for every agent that partners with us. We add 3 people to their team that are on my dime and not theirs.
So,
and then
I think like at this point, you guys are actually working on the next level, which is some of it's core stuff. Trying to get more people in place on your team to handle the loans. And I know at this point, you and TJ are partners on this, and technically you're in the same branch now. But your goal is to just hand the loans off and make more of these relationships, and then educate the agents, bring them into your office, teach them all about the follow-up, teach them all about loan programs. So what's next after that part of it? And this is part of what we're going to talk about in Orlando.
Yeah. I definitely don't want to give too many secrets away, because I won't have any material for Orlando. Not that I'm not withholding them. I just I need some material when I'm on stage in Orlando.
And honestly, Fisher, if you saw the shopping list Ashley's giving me for everything that I need to buy for this branch and this setup that she has going on, we'd be here all day. So
yeah. I mean, I have focused, like I said, I've had a few niches over the 10 years that I've been a loan officer, we kind of talked about that. Like I was a second chance lender. I was a mobile home lender because that's, popular in our area. And I'm still like the number one. If you have a manufactured home, you still call me. I'll still take care of them. It's opened a lot of doors for me. So I still do that. But my path, my niche is not a particular loan program or what I can or cannot do for somebody. What I spend my time doing is building my brand for my clients so they understand what they're getting, but I help assist an agent build their brand. And it's going to be different for every agent because they have a different market, a different targeted audience that they're going after. And so I'm there to support them to build their brand. I'm there to help them market them, their properties to their clients in whatever avenue that they want to do. So I spend my time building their business, and in return, they allow me to help their clients get to the closing table. And so it didn't start out that way. I didn't intend for it to happen that way. I just wanted to be a player in the game. So I just wanted to provide leads. And what it turned into was it was so fulfilling to give somebody an edge in their career that if I could get paid doing that, I would rather do that than close a loan. But this is how I make my money, so I close my loans. But it filled a hole that I didn't realize I had. So I spend my time growing their business, and I know that at some point in the circle, they're going to pay me back.
Was that Zig Ziglar, how people get what they want, you get what you want, something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
It's the oldest sales trick in the book, and it's not a trick, it's authentic. I know you put me on some of your follow-up systems recently and invited me into your social media circles with your agents and some of the training, and I think it's really cool. Like I turn around and look at my phone every couple days and I get this message about you're inspiring me and asking me what you can do to help and reminding me about the upcoming meeting to help me build my business. It's part of the follow-up that you've got built in.
Yeah,
but I'm looking at
everybody, Fish. That's not just you. So
yeah.
You're not the inspiring person. No.
Yeah, I know.
So hey, but real quick, let me jump in here. So Ashley, this happened fast for you, right? But it happened fast, but it happened because you put a lot of work in, and you just took massive amounts of action in the beginning to reach your goals. That just putting all that time and effort in, just the snowball effect kicked in, right? And before you knew it, you were just you're getting meetings, or people were coming out to you trying to get on your calendar, and you were like, absolutely, I'll see you in 6 weeks because that's my next opening.
Yeah, I mean, I spent March through August really of last year trying to figure out what I wanted to do and what tools and systems I wanted to put into place. So sure, it happened as a snowball, but I put a lot of energy in that time period. And if you look back at my production suffered because of it, because I was focusing my time and energy on what I was going to do for the next year and not that month, those units and whatnot. And I knew that I was taking a huge risk, but I also knew that our business was going to be changing in the next couple of years. And if I didn't change, I wasn't going to have a job. And I've been doing this my whole life. So I didn't have the option to not get ahead of things. So I spent last year, like I said, from March to August, thinking about what I wanted to do. I had tested a few things with a few trusted agents along the way and tweaked it and whatnot. And then at the end of August, I launched it. And after Labor Day, I put into my whole system into full effect. Every part of my process, every item that I wanted to do. And I learned them from more successful LOs than me. I would watch every success series that y'all put on. I would reach out to those individual LOs like, hey, can I get 10 minutes of your time? They were always gracious to give me 10 minutes of their time. And I was like, I like this about your system. Tell me how that works. They tell me, I'd write it down. And then I was not able to put all of those things in place. Some of them didn't fit for me and my clientele. Some of them it didn't feel right. But I took several things from lots of different LOs in this community right here in this MLO net and put them into my business. And I was looking at, $80 million a year producers like Dan Keller. He's my favorite. He's my favorite to watch. I watch his videos. I write it all down, and I stalked him on Facebook. I stalked his website, and there were several things in his business that I put into mine, to make sure that I could replicate a small portion of his success. And so there was a few little things I just took from other people and put them into my business. Probably 10 or 12 things, not the 80 I learned, but the 10 or 12 things in my process that really took things to the next level for me. And then it kind of grew from there. So in September is really when I was like, okay, here we go. And I really didn't start to see a significant impact in my business for 90 days. I had to put a lot of work into it. I had to put 6 months of planning, 90 days of grinding every single day to make it happen. And we've got 13 contracts since February 1st. So yeah, it happened quickly, but I think what happens with a lot of salespeople, not just loan officers, they start to do things for a week, 2, and then they fall off.
Right.
They're not getting that instant gratification. They're not seeing loans fly in the door. They're not seeing things happen. And so oh, this isn't working. Let me move on. And they keep trying new things and nothing happens. And then 3 years later, they just get out of the business because they just can't, nothing works. It's not that nothing works. It's that you didn't stick to anything long enough to make it work.
Yep. So, hey, and Fish, we should probably wrap it up because we've been doing this for a little bit. And they said we want to keep this one short. And Ashley's got 13 contracts since February 1st. But I just kind of want to add to that, it's February 20th. We still have time to really take massive action and have an awesome year here in 2019. So just find that thing. It could be MMBC or core or marketing animals or whatever it is that you want to do, right? That you can dig your teeth into and follow and just go all in. And if you take that massive action for the next 4 to 6 weeks, it will pay huge dividends for the rest of the year. And Ashley's proof of that. Ashley's 100% proof of that. And, again, even though I have a program in Leads Academy, which is about lead generation, it's not, it's not a secret, right? It's just something that those of us that are in Leads Academy enjoy doing and are passionate about and like to do and comfortable with. So it allows us to take that massive action because we're comfortable with it. Fish, you and your MMBC crew, you guys are so passionate about being VA specialists and supporting veterans. You guys take massive actions, have massive success because of that, right? But it's not a lead versus a VA loan. It's just something that you're passionate about and you're willing to go with. So I think we can all do that for the rest of the year.
I dig it. I agree. So I'll see a bunch of you in Orlando. Ashley, thank you so much for your time. If you have any questions, comment below for Ashley. Hopefully we'll see a bunch of you in just a month and a half, 2 months here in April. And again, thank you guys all for tuning in. I got a handful of coaches coming on next week. I'm going to call it the Coaches Week. I got Kai coming. Scott Groves is going to hop on. I got John Thomas coming on. I haven't put all the dates in there yet, but I'm going to have 3 days back to back where we're going to talk about kicking our asses and getting in gear for this year. And a lot of people did it at the end of the year. But I figured I'd let us all start, get our systems in place, and let's kick it up now for the spring. So look forward to next week. See all of you guys on the other side in the chat rooms. That's all I got, man. If you guys have anything else, add it now.
We still have chat rooms around?
I don't know. I call it.
That's you just go back to 1996 and AOL right there, Fish.
I'm officially an old man. Old man. Right here.
All right, cool. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, Ash.